Stewart Cruz here on my Big D channel. I want to talk about oil pastels. I'm back with oil pastels. I'm back into it. I've done so much oil pastel painting, you know, color swatching, blending colors, testing these pastels out for the course of the month of basically December and so far, and part of November. So oil pastels, I realize out of all these reviews that I've done, and I realize after all the things I say about art, pastels, oil pastels mainly, oil pastels are my favorite. They are my favorite. They are my medium. I love them. Now, when it comes to the bonus, when it comes to my destination that I really want to get to, because I'm not an artist, I'm a guy that draws. I'm not an artist, I'm a guy that draws. But what I want to do is I want to become an artist. And my goal is to create graphic novels. So graphic novels, my medium for graphic novels would be more on the aisles of Inktense pencils, markers, and acrylic markers. Those are the three things that I would use to create for my comic novels. But other than that, oil pastels are my thing. That's my thing. I have yet to take paper that's higher than 16.9 and really get down and dirty with the oil pastels. But I love to draw abstract stuff with oil pastels just to test them out. I love the color. The color alone is my thing. I love the color. Okay, I love the color of oil pastels, and I tried last night to do something with the water soluble pastels, but Neocolor 2 is a winner in my book. It always comes through for me. The Mungyo, what I drew with the Mungyo was good, but it wasn't something that I want to put on this channel. I threw it away. It was a little abstract thing that I started and I didn't finish. But the Mungyo, I'm going to get into that too, right here. As you can see, here's my mess. Now here's my Sennelier. Okay. What I want to say about the Sennelier first off is that Senneliers are messy. Look at this mess in this box. Just look at that. Just look at this mess in this box. Just look at this. Look at that. It's a mess. Sennelier is overrated. Okay? Once you get into Sennelier, Senneliers are good pastels, oil pastels to be exact, if you don't know any good brands of oil pastels. But if you know other brands that will do the job, you don't need Sennelier. Sennelier is good. Yes, they are extra creamy, but that extra creamy is not what gets the job done. Extra creamy is not what makes the picture beautiful, except for the shininess. You know, there is a shiny finish to when you use Sennelier oil pastels, but Sennelier, look at this mess. Every pastel I used for what I drew tonight fell apart. Now, I've had this set for a while, and every time I use it, I end up breaking one of the pastels. Every single time I use it. Tonight I broke several, as you can see in there. And I found out that it's best to take the paper, this paper that's on here, this paper right here, it's best to take that off, okay, and just expose the color, okay, just put that in there. It's best to take that paper off, because that paper is just, you know, that paper is nothing but a covering. That doesn't hold the pastel in place. That doesn't protect your hands from getting pastel all over you. That pastel, that paper is just junk. It's you know, it's junk. You better off just using the pastels without it. But Senneliers are good if you do not know any other good brands of pastels. Sennelier, yes, they are very creamy. If you do not know any other pastels, oil pastels besides Sennelier that work really good. First of all, here's the cons. Senneliers are messy. Okay? They're a little bit too creamy, so creamy that you can't even keep the paper on them. They just fall right out of the paper, so just take the paper off. You can control the pastel better. They're messy. Blending can be difficult after the first layer. So just like the trouble that I've had with cheaper pastels, even though Sennelier is the best, a lot of times I run into trouble once I get past that first layer, trying to mix the colors and all like that. And I did just as much, you know, scrubbing to blend as I do with all my other types of pastels. When it came to blending, the way I blend, I like to use a tool when I blend. Let me see if I can find it here. I showed you it before. See if I can find it. I like to use a tool. I like to use stump. I'm not going to go in here and dig all this stuff out of here. And I'm not going to go in here and dig all this out. But I like to use a stump. And I like to use a color shaper when I blend my pastels. I don't like to get them all over my hand, but I like to use my finger, you know, as a finishing tool whenever, you know, that's the way I do it. I blend everything, and then when I'm on that final last layer, I'll use my fingers just to lightly put the color in place. But with Sennelier, once you get past that first layer, they are just like any other pastel. Once you get past that first layer that you're going to put down, when you go to put color on top of that, you're going to scrub that color in. You might have to get out the baby oil or the linseed oil or Gamsol or something to get that blend in there right. They blend really good on the first layer, but after the first layer, you know, it seems like, you know, they sit there for a minute. They get hard. They harden. Okay? And, you know, once you get past that first layer, Sennelier are just like any other oil pastel set. Okay? Like I said, blending can be difficult after the first layer. And here's the pros. The pros are they are smooth and creamy, and they have a shiny finish. Let me show you here. I'll get back to these guys in a moment. Not her. Which one did I do with Sennelier? I did this one with Sennelier, I think. Did I? No. I did him with the Cray Pas. This is Cray Pas. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, he's Cray Pas. This guy is Sennelier. Okay, he's Sennelier. Alright? He's Sennelier. And I'm really proud of this. This is Sennelier. Okay, as you can see, I put a glossy finish on it. Let me bring the camera up just for more so you can see it. That's just an abstract kind of thingamajig. Okay. So that's that. But Senneliers are very, very, very messy to work with. And this is why a lot of people, even though they're professional pastel artists, they don't buy Sennelier, or they have them put in the closet, and this is the real reason. Okay, they don't want to mess them up. They want to use them for when other pastels don't blend or they change over time or whatever. Sennelier is a more expensive brand. Okay. If you're getting into oil pastels, you do not need Sennelier. Okay. Unless you really, really like Sennelier because of Sennelier. Okay, if you really, really like Sennelier because you just want to set the record straight and just keep Sennelier because they're the most expensive and you think that makes them special, or because of the brand name and the other products they sell, okay, that's just you. That you do you, boo. That's fine. But you do not need to buy Sennelier on a fixed budget. I got these Arctics here that work almost as good as the Sennelier, and they are almost 3 times cheaper than Sennelier, and they almost work just as good. Sennelier is a little bit more easier to work with, you know, like I said, with a shiny finish, and you know, the colors don't lock up on you and that, like I've had that problem with the Cray Pas. But you know, Sennelier is one of the best brands. That I will give them. But they don't have to be for, you don't have to use Sennelier for artists. Okay, that's enough of that. But again, the pros are smooth and creamy with a shiny finish. I saw that today as I was finishing. Now I got gloss on here. But they had a shiny finish before I put the gloss on it. Okay. Next up is Cray Pas. Okay. Put these over here. Next up is Cray Pas. Now Cray Pas, as you'll see, they're a mess too. But I don't know what happened. Remember, I just did a video. Now I'm starting to have respect for these pastels now, because remember I just did a video where I complained about the Cray Pas and how I couldn't do nothing with them. I'm about to use them, you know what I mean, to scribble on, you know, or use them for crayons or something. I don't know what happened, because I was just bored out of my mind yesterday, my first day off this week, and I was bored out of my mind, and I started messing around with the Cray Pas, and for some reason they started acting like a different pastel. Like, and there's a lady here on YouTube that was saying that Cray Pas, you know, Secure, the company, they sent her a box of Cray Pas that were all dried up. Okay? And she sent them back. She couldn't do nothing with them. They were working like, I don't know, they were working for me just a week ago. Let me show you what I did here with the Cray Pas. I started off doing this. Okay, I started off doing this just to see if I could do anything with them, even though I tried several times around the time that I got the Mungyo and or the Mungyo, or however you pronounce it, and the 72 set of Arctics. Okay, but I just started messing around, and look at that lovely texture, look at those lovely colors, look at that lovely blending there. This was just messing around, and I spent some time on this. This here project right here showed me the difference between the Cray Pas and the Mungyo, because I had to keep cutting and scraping to get what I wanted on here. I had to keep changing colors and cutting and scraping and stuff. Surprisingly, I had to do that with Sennelier too. But this is Cray Pas, this is Cray Pas, and didn't I have a portrait I did with the Cray Pas? Oh yeah. Yeah, this one's Sennelier. This one. This is Cray Pas. So, now this here, before I forget, this one here is water soluble. This is Neocolor 2. And I was also working with the Mungyo. That's what these are right here. The Mungyo extra soft, water soluble. Okay, these are Mungyo Aquarelle. Okay, and these are Mungyo Gallery. These are water soluble. These are regular oil pastels. Okay. But look at this lovely lady here I did with, because I was doing so much oil pastel work yesterday, I got tired of getting it all over my hands. I said, let me get my Neocolor 2s out and play around with them a little bit. I feel like I was leaving them out of the game. So I got out my Neocolor 2, and voila, she shows up. Let me tell you something. One thing I love about oil pastels and making faces is that you never know who you're going to bring from the dead when you make faces. Look at this lovely girl. I mean, if I was, 20 years younger, I'd be hitting on this girl. I mean, she's fine. She a fine mama to me. Okay? This is not a copy of anybody I know. This was some fine looking white chick that just came up. Now I see how God created men and women. I don't think he really put a whole lot of brain into it when he made men and women. He just knew, like, they have to have eyes and they have to have a nose and a mouth, and he knew what kind of organs needed to produce children and feed children, and what kind of organs make sex wonderful. And he created men and women. Okay? And I think he just went to the dust, as the Bible says, and started putting it together, and voila, like I just put the lips and the eyes together in this lovely young lady. She's got to be in her 20s or something like that, just to test out these Neocolor 2s. And this is what come out. This little cute college, high school graduate pops out and then, you know, after I did her, I went back to the Cray Pas, and this must be her mama. Either her mama or her older sister from another mother. I don't know, but this lovely lady here, I mean, she's lovely enough. I wouldn't date her, but that's Cray Pas for you. I went back to the Cray Pas and it says, I don't understand what happened. Like, why are they working for me all of a sudden? It has to do something with the closet or something like that. So I went back and I did another picture of the Cray Pas. And I love to draw faces because you never know what's going to happen. You never know who's going to show up when you draw faces. You just put eyes, lips together. It's never the same person. It's like a new creation. If I did 100 pictures, okay, everybody would be different unless I copy a picture, unless I look at a picture and try to copy it like I did my Trump picture, you know. But, you know, if I was to, that's what I love about drawing faces, okay. You just do it and, you know, people just pop up. It's like the nature of God. People just show up. You never know how they're going to show up. You just know that if you do it right, somebody's going to show up, okay? You're going to create humans, okay? And I've drawn some fine-looking aliens and half-dog woman, men, people that live in spaceships, okay, and have superpowers, you know, and all like that. I've drawn stuff like that back in the day, too, okay? But anyway, the Cray Pas, I don't know what happened. I did 2 videos, I think it was, on them not working, and then all of a sudden they're working. I don't know what happened. I think Cray Pas are the kind of pastels that change over time. If you leave them in your closet too long, or you have them out in the heat of the room temperature too long, or whatever, I think they start to act up, okay? That's all I can think of. I don't know what happened. I couldn't get any use out of them. All they did was like turn into mud every time I tried to even do the first layer. And then all of a sudden, just yesterday, they work. I don't know what happened. But Cray Pas are good most of the time. I found that out. And they are like a cross between the Arctics, okay? If I can do this without knocking this over. The Arctics, okay? They're a cross between the Arctics and the Sennelier, okay? That's the way I see Cray Pas. I see them being a little bit too creamy at one point, like the Sennelier, but at another point, you know, they're just your average cheap pastels that get the work done, but they're overrated. But I've seen people on YouTube do professional pieces with these pastels, and that's wonderful, okay? The Arctics is a good basic pastel. It's very good. The Mungyo, here's my favorite Mungyo right here. Let me get them out. These, if you're looking for a good pastel that's going to behave and you can't go wrong, here you go. Mungyo Gallery Artist Soft Oil Pastels. Read the box. Mungyo Gallery Artist Soft Oil Pastels. This is the box. This is what you want to get. These pastels are my number one. And as you can see, I've been busy. And, you know, I mean, these are really solid pastels. They're not that breakable like Sennelier. But, you know, over time, I've had them for a month now, 3 weeks to a month. Over time, they will break, but, you know, and they're not messy and sticky like some good brands that I've known. Like when I use the Neo Pastel or the Van Gogh, they're kind of, one is messy like Sennelier, and the other one is a harder pastel that works, but it's messy. It's just messy, and they break apart like nobody's business. They just constantly break apart. But these here are my pastel. Like if I was to get that 100 and some, the 200 and some wooden box, it would be Mungyo Gallery. Okay, I'm gonna let you know that right off the top. That's who I'd get it off of. Mungyo Gallery, or Mungyo, whichever way you pronounce that. Okay. Where'd my paperwork go? My paperwork flew off. Oh no, it did. Here it is. Let me put these back here. So that's that. Now, let me talk about some general things about pastels so I can close and not make this a long video. The medium of pastels are good if you have a good brand. Right there. That's a good brand. Okay? All these I have here are good brands. The Cray Pas, they come in like number 5. Okay? The Mungyo come in as number 1. The Sennelier is number 2. The Arctics, they come in as number 5. They're like level with the Cray Pas. All these are good brands. Even these Mungyo water soluble, you can use them dry or wet. It's best if you use them like regular pastels and go over them with just a pinch of water to fix them, and you won't need any like fixative or nothing like that, because you're going to use the water to fix them. That's the best way to use those. Whereas the what do you call them, the Neocolor 2s, you're going to use them like you use watercolor, okay, when you put them down, but when you make your other layers, it's going to have a pastel look to it, okay. Remember that Neocolor 2 right here. I have them over here. Let me see if I can reach. I'm sure you heard about these on YouTube. Here you go. There you go. Neocolor 2s. And I have like around 50 to 60 of them. I think there's 80 of them altogether. Because I have ones that I hand picked in this box here. You can get these open stock, but they're the best water soluble media that exists. These and the Inktense pencils. Of course, Inktense pencils aren't pastels. They're like more like permanent watercolor. Acrylic and watercolor mixed to make them permanent. But as you can see, I've been busy with these too, and I've had these for like 3 years, I think, and haven't bought another set yet. They last a long time, and you know, you can use these as watercolor, or you can make them look like pastels. You know, it's all about layering and how much space you use to use them. Okay, so get a look at that. All right, Neocolor 2, baby. I also have a Neocolor 1. I told you this before. Neocolor 1 is like oil pastels, but these are actually wax pastels, very little oil in them at all. And these are really hard to blend. If you're going to blend these, you're going to definitely use Gamsol, or you're going to use like mineral spirits of some sort. My favorite to use with these is Gamsol. Okay, but these are Neocolor 1, and just like Neocolor 2, you can get them in sets of 40, but they only come in sets of 40. They don't come, you can get these open stock too, but they only come in what's in this tin. They only come in 40 colors. Okay, and I love to use these sometimes. These are definitely way cleaner to use, easier, well, more cleaner to use than you know, regular oil pastels. But it's just those moments when you just want to like really use professional crayons is what these are. And most of the time you'll want to use oil pastels because they're more blendable immediately, whereas these, you got to break them down, you know. Alright, let me finish my story here so I can send you on your way. We're running into over 30 minutes now, so let me finish. Oil pastels, again, are good if you have a good brand. So before you give up on oil pastels, ask your art store about good brands. They gave me the Cray Pas, and for the first time, you know, since I've been here yesterday, I finally created something with the Cray Pas. Okay, you know, I finally created something that I enjoyed. Okay, I enjoyed messing around. Okay, but when I first got them, they weren't doing much at all. I mean, you know, I don't know what happened. I don't know if they're going to work now, or because of the way I got them sitting in the closet, like, you know, stacked in there or something. I don't know. Maybe they're going to, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know. Put this here. But, get yourself a good oil pastel. You don't want to get oil pastels that are, you know, from the dollar store or from the drugstore, or, you know, even Walmart. You don't want to get, you know, Hobby Lobby and even Michael's don't have the best sets. Now, for a while they were selling Cray Pas at Michael's, and they stopped because Cray Pas is not selling out like it used to. So we got Cray Pas, which is, like I said, number 5. Okay, we'll give Cray Pas, I'd say we'll give Cray Pas a 5. And all the other brands I have, I'll give them like a 3. I'll give Sennelier a number 2. But I give Mungyo a number 1. Okay, I give Mungyo, whichever, I give that number 1. Okay. What else? Oil pastels are the best paint medium. They have the best look, the best texture. They have, you know, you can do things, you can paint, you can put them on dry, or you can use mineral spirits to help you out. I've looked at some of these artists on YouTube. They use mineral spirits the whole time they're majoring in oil pastels, or it doesn't matter what their artistic project is. They're going to use linseed oil or baby oil, you know, or some other kind of, you know, paint thinner or something to make them work. I don't feel you need to do that. When I'm using Mungyo out of all these other brands, when I'm using Mungyo, I don't see a reason to use mineral spirits, okay? But when I use the other brands like Cray Pas, and maybe even Arctic sometimes, I see a reason to add a little bit of oil to that, or some other kind of oily mineral spirit to help me out in getting the project done, because the colors don't want to blend that easy after so many layers. But the Mungyo, I usually don't have any trouble until I get to like the 5th or 6th layer. And when I put them down, they make me want to do more and more and more within the same drawing. Mungyo is my number one, okay? Let me say this too. Oil pastels are the best medium for landscapes and portraits, but they are better than landscapes. You can draw houses, cars, urban sketching, you know what I mean? You can draw comics even with oil pastels if you put your mind to it. You can draw just about anything. It's just that the paper has to be pretty big in order to do that. But it's better than landscapes. It's better than just portraits. You can do so many other things with these oil pastels. But I'll tell you what, if I'm going to draw portraits, and I love to draw them as you can see, it's going to be the better oil pastels like the Mungyo or the Sennelier, okay? But I only have 24 Sennelier, I have 72 Arctics, and I have 48 Mungyo. Now, right now, I leave Arctics on here because it's such a big box. I leave it on my stand by my dining room table here, okay? And that's what I've been doing all my pastel practicing with. But if I was to say, hey, I'm going to make a project and see if I can prime it up to sell it, it would be Mungyo that I would do that with, okay? Best for portrait, still life, but other things as well. You can draw people, small people as well as big people. There's so much you can do, okay? And like I said, best if done bigger than 12/9. So this is 12/9, okay? This is 12/18. Okay, this is bigger paper. Okay, this is like almost a board. Okay, but this is like regular watercolor paper. Like this here is the same paper. Okay, but this here is the 12/18 size of it. I wonder if it says that on here, because I calculate. Whoop, I did it perfectly. 12/18. I measured it myself. 12/18 is what that is. Okay. Let me finish. So, if you really want to draw a lot of faces and draw landscapes, draw still lifes and stuff like that, you can draw a still life on a 12/9. But if you want to draw like more than one person, two people talking, or two people kissing, or a scene of a urban sketch or something like that, what you'll want to do is you'll want to put that on an easel, and you'll want to use like 12/18 and up. But I wouldn't go too high up, because again, pastels are like this. They're not big giant paintbrushes. You're dry medium. They're not going to get any bigger than this. So what you would do if you wanted to paint real big, what you would want to do is you want to cover your background with acrylic paint, okay? Or maybe some tamper sticks or something like that. I use tamper sticks on everything lately. you know, or, you know, any kind of paint where you can make backgrounds easy, and then complete the details by putting on oil pastel on top of it, okay? You can put, and this is very, very important, listen to this real good, you can put ink, like I have some here. Like, here's my pit pens. I keep them in this bag. Here's my pit pens. You can put these on top of oil pastels, okay, as long as you fix the pastels when you're done. Okay, you can put, you can take a paintbrush, okay, you can take a paintbrush and go over the pastel like this, okay, with mineral spirits, okay, with a brush and mineral spirits, and get, you know, saturated color on the brush, and then use that to draw details, okay? Details are very difficult on oil pastels. What I have on these oil pastels is acrylic markers, color pencil, and sometimes permanent marker, alcohol marker, okay? So you can put ink and acrylic on top of oil pastel as long as you fix it, you know, right here, fix it when you're done, okay? As long as you fix it when you're done. Now, you see if you can see that real good. Now this here one is your basic one, okay, and they both make it glossy, okay. This here one is the best, and this is not even a name. I mean, they make other products, maybe that's what you're known for, but you'll see these advertised on TV and talked about on YouTube a lot. I love this stuff here. This actually puts there's so much gloss when you spray this as a fixative, it puts your picture behind like glass. That's how glossy it is, okay? Like that picture I showed you of Donald Trump. I use this stuff to gloss it, okay, to fix it. It's like it's behind glass while it's on paper. It's behind glass while it's on paper, okay? But you can put color pencil, acrylic, and alcohol ink, or pit pens, or whatever kind, you know, sepia ink or whatever, India ink or whatever you need, on top of oil pastels, as long as you fix them when you're done, okay? And easy way, you know, I go outside on my porch, okay? I don't even go all the way outside. I just open up my door and put one foot out on the porch, shake this up real good. This one don't have to be shaken up as much as this one. And this one here takes less coats. This one here takes less coats to put on. Like I can go okay, and be done with it, okay, and be done with it. All right, this here you got to use like 6 sprays. You got to let it dry for a little bit, and then I go over it again. So I get 6 times, okay. I believe, my personal opinion, this is better than this. This seems to move your color a little bit, like these backgrounds on all these pictures. This stuff seems like it moved the colors around a little bit. And I'm not talking about this. This is all tempera paint, okay? And tempera paint, these are the tempera paint that are like pastel sticks. You put them on. Here they are right here. If you don't have these, get them. Like when you're drawing 6x9 like this. Like see that blue right there? That's tempera paint. That's these. Let me show you here. Who are they by? Craftsman. That's the name of them, Craftsman. And these are tempera paint sticks. And the way they work is you don't use water or anything. You just they're like lipstick or makeup, and you just, you know, see? That's all you gotta do. Okay, and I put them in this bag. There's like 12 of them in here. Let me see. 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, there's like 15. Let's see. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, there's 15. There's 15 of them. But I use these specifically to make backgrounds. You can do, you know, other things with them. Here's number 15 right here. Okay, you can do other things with them. And 2 of the colors in here, there's a silver and a gold in here. They are metallic. Okay, and I love them because they really like making frames, like when you make these pictures. Okay, like this. Okay, it really makes them pop. It really makes them shine. Like for example, here's one with the silver on it. This was Mom. You can see the silver shining. Some of it's gloss, but some of it's the gloss, but a lot of it is the tempera paint stick. Because it has a sheen to it all by itself, so that makes it double the shine. If shiny ain't your thing, I have the regular fixative in there too. If shiny ain't your thing, it has a matte finish. But I love the glossy finish because pastels normally have a matte finish to them. Okay, and I like a shiny finish. I like that acrylic look. I like a shiny finish. Okay. But that's the easy way to gloss. Like this one here, again, this one here is like so glossy and so thick. It will put it puts like whatever you draw behind water. It affects the whole sheet of paper, makes the paper even harder. Just kind of gloss here. I love it. I think this is going to be my number 1. And then here's the Blick brand here, and this is glossy too. Now let me see. I use the Blick brand on this one. I think this one, yeah, I can feel the difference. This one here, I use the what is this called? It's an acrylic sealer too. It's Alini's. Okay, I use Alini's on this one, and I know I use Alini's on this one, but everything else here is this here. I use Alini's on this one too. I really put it like probably 6 coats on this one, and I really like the way it pops. I mean, it really pops. It really looks good like this. Okay. And I did this rock star with the Alini's too. Okay. Again, I love drawing faces to test out these products. I do the same thing with my acrylic markers, the tempera paint sticks, and whatever I get. I love to test it out by drawing faces. Not that I'm a face person, but drawing faces, you never know what might come out of it. Okay, like I use no photos or anything to draw this lovely little cute little lady. This girl is very cute. And if I wasn't grown If I wasn't an old fart, I'd be hitting on her. Okay? Alright? And if she don't go out with me, where's her mama? Where's her mama at? Okay? What happened to mom? Here's the mama. She don't go out with me, I'll rap the mama. Alright? And I think that's it. I think I've covered everything. 50 minutes I better have, good Lord. So, D-Roy Cruz, Big D, there you have it. I think I covered a lot of information about oil pastels. I'll add more to this later. Okay? God bless you. Thank you for watching. Have a nice night.